Hi everyone. In this video, we will be learning about C++ programming. We will start from the basics and we will go till the advanced. In every programming language, we think that we have to by heart every single line, but if we can understand why each and everything is written and if we can understand the logic behind it, we do not need to by heart anything. It will be very easy for us to write a program. So we will learn the basics and understand the logic behind each statement that we will be writing in a C++ program. So the first thing we will learn is how to print a statement in C++. So this is the basic format of a C++ program. And now we will break each and every single line and understand why each and every line is written. So the first thing that we will write in a C++ program is main with two round braces. Now this main is the most important thing in any programming, and in C++ programming also this main is very important. This is where the compiler will start to execute the program. If we forget or skip this main, then our program will not be executed and we will get an error. Now we can write 1000 lines before this main or 1000 lines after this main, but the compiler will skip all those lines and reach this main and start this execution from here. So we have to remember main with round braces. This is the starting point of execution, and with main we have these two round braces. This is called as parenthesis. Before the main, what we will write is we will write as a word called void. Now void means empty. Now why we are writing void main, we will see that later. For time being, we will just remember it as void main. Now we have declared main. Now we have to write the code inside this main. How we will write the code inside this main? For that we will need curly braces, opening and closing curly brace. Now whatever we will write inside this opening and closing curly brace will be considered as the code written inside this main portion. Now we have written void main, so we have declared the starting position of our program. Now what we will do is we will print a statement inside this void main. To print a statement, I need the word called cout. Along with cout, I will also write two left arrows. Now what is the cout? See, the full form of cout is character output. So whatever I have to print in the output, I will write in this statement. And after the two left arrows, I will put double quotes, and inside the double quotes, I will write hello world. So whatever I have written inside these double quotes, this statement will be passed on to the cout. So whatever we are writing inside these double quotes, this statement will be given to the cout and cout will print it as it is. So how we will write the statement? To print something, we need cout, that is character output. We will write two left arrows and then inside double quotes we will write whatever we have to print, and what we will write inside these two double quotes will be printed as it is. So this is the statement to print something. Now whatever we are writing inside these curly braces, we have to end those statements. So those statements will end with a semicolon. Now here after main we don't need a semicolon. We don't need a semicolon after this curly brace. We don't need a semicolon after this curly brace. But only those statements that we will write inside these two curly braces, those statements will only need an end, that is a semicolon. A semicolon is similar to a full stop. Now, even after writing all this, C compiler or the C++ compiler will still not understand what to do with this cout. So we will need some extra library files for it to understand what to do with this cout. For that, before the void main, what we're going to write is we're going to include a file. To include that file, I will write hashtag CLUDE, include, and in angular brackets I will write IOSTREAM, iostream.h. Now this iostream.h, this is the header file, and in this file it is defined what to do when the compiler sees this word called cout. So this is just a library file, in a file where it is defined what to do with cout. So we have to include, we are just including this file in this C++ program, and I have to write this before the void main. So this is the basic format of a C++ program, which is written to print a statement. Now here I have written void main. Instead of void main, we can also write it as int main. Whenever we are writing int main, we are on inside the main, we have to write a statement which is called as return 0. Now this int is similar to an integer, so when you are writing int main, we have to return an integer, that is return 0. If we are writing here void main, we don't need return 0, but if you are writing int main, we will require this return 0. Okay, now we will execute and see this, how this program is working. I am using a C++ online compiler to execute this code. Now this is an online C++ compiler. This program is here. See, here I have written hash include. Here it is written as iostream, but you can write it as iostream.h. Okay, so the first thing I will write is void main, then as I said, two round braces or parentheses, and then I will start the main block. How I will do it, I will write it as opening curly brace and then closing curly brace. Inside this main, I want to print a statement, so I will write cout to left angular brackets, and in the double quotes I will write welcome to C++, and I have to end this statement with a semicolon. It's just similar to a full stop. So I have said, as I've said before, instead of void main also I can also write int main, and if I am writing int main, then I have to write return 0 and then a semicolon. All the statements inside the block, that is inside these two braces, curly braces, I will end with a semicolon. Now I can also write it as void main. If I'm writing void main, I do not need return 0, but if I'm writing int main, I need here return 0. Okay, now I will check. I will click on the run button and I will check whether I'm getting the output. See, I have got the output. Welcome to C++. Now I can print many statements, how much ever statements I want. I will write cout, that is character output, two left arrows, then in double quotes I will write hello, how are you, then I will end with a semicolon. Again I can write cout, good day, end with a semicolon, and I will print these statements, and I will click on the run button and see how it is printing the statements. See the output. All the statements are printed in the same line. Now I want each and every statement with some space. Here I want some space, here I want some space. What I will write is, after this line I will write /t. /t will give me a certain space after this statement. After this statement also I want a certain space, so I will write /t. Now I will click on the run button and see here, after the first line there is a certain space, then the second line there is a certain space, and then the third line is printed. Now if I want all these lines to be printed in separate lines, what I will do is I will write /n. Here also /n. I will click on the run button. See, all the statements are printed in 3 separate lines. So in this video we saw how we can print different statements using the word cout and 2 left arrows. We have to write whatever we have to print, we have to write it inside these double quotes, and to leave a space I have to write /t and /n I'm using to print the statements in separate lines. And all those statements I have written inside the main block, inside these 2 curly braces. I will end it with a semicolon. I don't need a semicolon in void main or after the curly braces, but only after these statements I need a semicolon. And I also need this iostream.h file which defines what the compiler must do when it encounters the cout statements. Okay, so this was all about this video. From the next video we will also see many concepts. Thank you so much for watching this video.